Hello! I did a video recently about the Bolt X series of batteries from HobbyKing, and one of the comments there was, what about the new Purple Graphene ones? Well, here we go, we've got a couple. We've got the 6S 1.1 amp hour and 1.35 amp hour. They obviously come nicely wrapped up and packaged, and they physically look like this. This is the 1.1, this is the 1.35, reasonably chunky. This is a new sort of covering. It's kind of a sort of, it feels like it's a material that's going to hold a strap a little bit better. It's sort of sticky. These are both listed as 120C discharge, which is quite a lot. Previously I had a problem testing 6Ss because I didn't have an analog 6S quad I could really fly around and really throw around well. I've been rebuilding, and hopefully this should be my quad. Got an analog camera in there and obviously VTX, good 6S motors. Let's see if it can work and go off and fly these, shall we? Welcome back to the field where it's an overcast day. It's supposed to be like 30 degrees Celsius today, but I'm guessing that's coming later on. It's just gone 11, so it's probably going to heat up midday and we'll be sweltering. So I guess it's best to do it now, but the colour's not very good. Anyway, we've got the two batteries here, the 1100 and the 1350 milliamp hours 6S, ready to fly and test them out. I've only got one of each, and I've only can do one pack obviously each, so I've got to sort of make it count, and we'll see how they compare to other things. Now I've got this quad. This was rebuilt for this morning, and I've just been flying it, and we've got an OSD flicker. I think it's down to the camera. This is the sort of unknown quantity. It's an old Swift, a Runcam Swift 2, which may not like what I'm doing to it, but it's flying okay, so ignore if it flickers around, and we'll look more about how the power feels on the battery, how the recovery feels, and how long we get on each. I've just been flying this from like an 1100 up to 1700, so it should certainly handle the weight no problem, and so let's see how these batteries go. Okay, so first off we've got the 1100, and we'll go straight into a bit of full throttle up to about 100 meters. And this is, I expect the battery to sag. It's more about how does it recover? Does it recover to the same sort of voltage it left, and does it do it quickly? Other than that, on these batteries, my idea was to do sort of this thing I call a fast lap. I've just got this little bit going around the trees where I try and do about 40 to 45% of sustained throttle. My normal flying rate is anywhere between like 25 and 35, so this is just a bit more, and it just keeps that battery under a bit of pressure for a little bit longer, because I want to see how it does after that 30 seconds of slightly more sustained effort, and how it comes back. And it seems to be doing okay. Those of you who saw the video on the Boss lipos and are thinking, my god, he still didn't fix anything since that time, it was the same day. I'm just editing this a bit later, so all the problems were still there with the camera flicker. I've since changed the camera. There's more than that problem. I think I took some sort of set rates, so it all felt a bit weird. It didn't have the right amount of expo in. Generally speaking, the quad was feeling a bit weird on the sticks, and I finally figured out that, oh, I think I put a preset in and I didn't change anything to suit myself. That's a bit of a mistake. So I present this sort of full DVR so you can kind of see the way I'm flying, how fast it may or may not look, and decide for yourself if the lipo feels good. For me, it felt pretty good. It got what I expected out of it. I was going this and I was like, okay, we're on an 1100 battery, we're going to fly some full throttle sections, we're going to try and be relatively quick going around. I expect that equals 3 to 4 minutes. If I'm really hitting a battery hard, I'd think 3 minutes. If I was going soft, then 5 minutes. If you go really soft, you can actually get quite a lot out of like a standard lipo. But sort of for this mix, I'm thinking 3.5 to 4 minutes. And I think that was about accurate, if memory serves well. But you can see I'm just doing the normal sort of flying around, having a bit of fun, having a little bit of acro. I do enjoy getting low to the ground, getting a sort of my basic cruise on. Although, as you can see, I did a few bits where I'm going up higher, I'm doing a few little tree dives and stuff, but my generalness is when I'm flying around cruising forward, I think I'm about 30% to 35% off throttle. to go any higher on the throttle, I think I need more of a camera angle. I'm quite glad I've changed this camera since then, because aside from the fact we're getting that flicker, this purplish hue we're getting on the clouds is really not what it looks like at all. It was overcast, yes, but not purple. That's quite a different sort of colour. A bit weird. Other than that, quad is flying very nicely, and the battery seems to be holding up very nicely. Once again, on these batteries, and I don't know if it's just this quad or just these 6S batteries, as far as I can see, the battery voltage is reading fine at the beginning, so it's not like, you know, I'm reading it too high, and thus when I'm getting to 3.5 it's actually something like 3.4. But these, again, as soon as it's starting to hit 3.5 per cell, it is starting to drop extremely quickly. So my new stopping position for all these batteries is going to be 3.55. As soon as I'm hitting that, I need to land. So already here, you see I'm starting to hit 3.5. That is too low. You can see I'm coming in for a landing, so I'm way off the throttle, but the battery is dipping, dipping, dipping. As soon as you hit 3.5, you may as well be on 3.3. You don't want to go any further down because they seem to drop. So yes, 3.55 is my new thing, although I would say this was good for about 4 minutes of mixed flying. Okay, so now we're on to the 1350, and this seems to be more of a standard size now in 6Ss. Let's go for that full throttle again, get up to around the 100 meter mark. Bigger battery, so less voltage drop there, seems pretty nice. One thing I've noticed about when 6Ss started coming in, it was like you use about a 1050 to replace your 1300 as if you're on a 4S. But as quads got more powerful, the normal 4S battery is now like 1500 or 1800, and the 6S batteries have gone from like the 1050s up to the 13 and the 15 and even beyond. I won't share the whole thing about this because it's pretty much the same as last time. We've done a bit of a full throttle job there. And then I'm just having a general fly around for the next few minutes. So here we go in the fast lap. Throttle's up to about 40%. Got the nose way down here. Like I said, if this was my standard speed, I'd have more of an up angle on the camera. But yeah, we get fairly good speed, but we're a little bit higher. Just trying to keep the quad low and get this much throttle on is quite difficult unless you're really forwards. So that is the sort of extended period where slightly higher throttle, and we've got a relatively decent recovery there from the quad. At this point, I'm really just flying around, just having a bit of fun doing general stuff that I was doing last time. So I don't expect you to watch that and have me blather on talking non-stop, but if you want to watch it, just slow it down or something and you'll get the gist of what I was doing and how the battery was looking. And speaking of the battery, you'll see I'm hitting around the 3.55 volts per cell. My new, like, oh, we must land when it hits that. And we've got fairly good in terms of the amount of flight here. I would say that, you know, a comfortable 5 minutes of mixed flying is what you'll get. You can see that even though I was coming at 3.55, it still managed to dip below 3.5 volts a cell, and now it's starting to drop pretty quickly. So you've really got to be on that, about that, getting down by 3.5. Well, there you go. These batteries felt pretty good. Although one of the problems about flying with batteries is you go out, test a pack, you report your findings, but that's just one flight. What happens on a repeated schedule? Because most batteries are pretty good on the first flight. It's like what happens after their 10th flight or their 50th flight or going beyond that. And I can't answer that in this video, but these batteries now go into my regular quad circulation. And just for example, next time I go out flying 6S wise, we've got the quad we're flying but with a different camera in, which will hopefully fix that flicker. We've got this quad which has open IPC on it because I'll be testing out this Emax VRX, also 6S, and this other 6S build which has a tiny little DJI VTX in it to see how that works. So obviously as I fly them, if they're doing well, I'll let you know. If they're not doing well, I'll also let you know. So just look out for that purple thing every time you see me hold up a quad saying I'm now flying this. and we'll see what happens in the long term. But in the meantime, many thanks to HobbyKing for sending these around. You'll find links down in the description box if you want to check them out for yourself, and I hope their review's been helpful. I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now. Well, you've made it to the end of the video, so thanks once again for watching. If you like what you saw, then please consider subscribing, and if you really like what you saw, then be sure to check out the link to my blog for a variety of ways in which you can help support this channel.